Winnipeg has a vibrant Black and African community. However, despite how quickly this community grows, events and festivals celebrating Black and African heritage and culture still needs to catch up. Afro Falls is looking to change that. This Sunday, September 24th, the South End community is gathering for music, food, and fun at the St. Norbert's Arts Centre for Afro Fall. Let's get into it.
My name is Olu Afolabi. I'm 22 years old, Nigerian Canadian. Been here since 2012, I suppose. Came with my family, and I lived mostly in the south side of the city. So that's for Richmond West. So represented. And I graduated from FRC for Richmond Collegiate in 2018. I was at the U of M for a bit, and then transferred to the U of W. So I'm currently at the U of W. I run a business called YBK Entertainment, and I think that's why we're here.
This weekend at the St. Norbert Arts Centre, Afro Fall is taking place. How did you connect with St. Norbert's Arts Centre? How did you get involved with them to kind of put this event in place?
So I suppose I should say I'm also an artist, right? I make music. So last year we had a little show at the St. Norbert that one of my homies put me on. And we had a performance there, and it was just a really cool venue. It's on the south side of the city. It felt like home, doing something for the community. And so we just started building a relationship since then. And this year, when we were looking towards planning events and shows for the year, we reached out to a few venues, that we had some ideas about. And St. Norbert was just the one that really stuck, And I gotta give the director at St. Norbert a shout out. Yeah, Sharon. She's been amazing. If anyone who's done event management or any sort of project management, talking to the boss person could be difficult. But Sharon does an amazing job. So very thankful for that.
With Jerry Fest and everything like that, giving opportunities to artists a place to showcase their art.
Yeah.
To reach out and connect with mentors to learn a bit. Did you take part in that program at all? The mentorship?
I was at the Jerry Fest, but I haven't been part of the St. Norbert mentorship yet. But I was at the Jerry Fest, and it was an amazing time. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to meet Jerry, but I've heard such amazing things about him and the void that he's left in the community. There hasn't been anyone to fill that void ever since, and just seems like there's at least two generations that look up to him in that sense and are inspired by him, So I'm just trying to play my part.
What better way than to build a festival, to build an event, than from the perspective of an artist? So why did you want to create Afro Fall? What is it that you're like, okay, yes, I want to put this event on. I want to get involved. I want to, celebrate with the South End community?
It really started with the idea of why I created my business, YBK Entertainment. So YBK Entertainment was created by myself. I have 3 other partners, 2 of which are also artists themselves, right? And when we started making music, from just average people who want to make music in the community, right? And we seen the ups and downs. We saw the difficulties and the obstacles and the lack of opportunities. We got to a point. I've been doing music I've been doing, hip-hop recording music for 2 years now, and it got to a point where it's okay, I feel that I've learned some bit and I could help someone else throughout their journey so they don't necessarily have to face the same difficulty.
Yeah, they don't have to go through that whole process again.
Yes, sir. And I was thankful and grateful. I was surrounded by like-minded people. My friend Ojikoi, that's his artist name. We actually went to school together. My other guy, Cozy Manos, and Caitlin Hillier, those are my partners. And together we came together to create YBK Entertainment. And we did our first show last year in May 13th of last year at the Bulldogs Event Center. And man, it was overwhelmingly a great show. I wasn't expecting, because before then we had done previous shows house events, or let's just say underground shows and stuff, but we haven't actually put a show where there was a stage or there was a sound person involved and all these different elements, right? So and especially like just 2 months after the restrictions were lifted, to see it all come together like
that
so
would have been like a very
like,
exciting, very like
it was
exhilarating moment.
Yes, it was like overwhelming. Like that's the only word I could use for it, like in a positive way, you know. And then like after that, we were just like, what else could we do? And we spent pretty much a year working with different members of the community. We created a group called the 204 Collective, which is like is a mentorship program for artists who are starting up or at whatever stage they are in locally. We just help them get to the next stage they want to be, you know, connect them with the right people, put them in the right places and such things, right? And so when we attended the Jerry Fest, it was very inspiring to just see like that whole community. And I thought, why don't we do this as well, but have it more aimed? Because when me and my partners, we were looking at it, there's a festival for pretty much everything else, you know what I mean? There's folk fest, there's soca fest, you know, just all these different little Summer of Sound, all these different festivals, but there isn't quite an Afro festival here in Winnipeg. So we thought that was a void that needed to be filled, and so we did.
You know, you're talking before a little bit about the void that Jerry has left, but listening to individuals like yourselves and others who have joined the mentorship program and everything, it feels like his legacy is creators and creatives coming together to mentor and help elevate each other. That's the legacy there.
Amen
you
to that.
And your friends and everything coming together, your partners, to build something new that celebrates voices that wouldn't necessarily be heard when you're talking about. There's really not that many like African or Black festivals in Winnipeg. So an opportunity like this is great. So let's get a little bit into it. What is this weekend going to look like for Afro Fall?
We have lots of plans. It's a festival. It's family friendly. You could expect lots of arts and crafts, lots of amazing food, lots of local booths and vendors, and live music starting at 6 p.m. You know, just a quick sum up.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about African music, Black culture, and kind of growing it here in Winnipeg? You know, there is a vibrant and large Black community and African community here in Winnipeg. There's so many amazing restaurants, artists, individuals. So creating a platform like this to bring them to the forefront is great. Why don't you just explore a little bit, you know, what does... and of course, like African culture is so broad and so vast and everything. Yeah, but why don't you just explore a little bit about, you know, what does Black culture look like here in Winnipeg? What does the music scene sort of look like? Well,
firstly, I'm glad you distinguish between Black culture and African culture, because there is a difference. You know, there's a difference from an African person living in Africa, an African person living in North America, and Black American. You know what I mean? Like, so altogether, African culture is mostly very traditional. You know, we have traditional foods, we have traditional languages, we have, we even have our own like movies. You know what I mean? Nigeria has like the third biggest entertainment industry in the world, right? Yeah,
I've definitely seen different videos and things like that coming out of Africa, like on TikTok and things. What is that one meme? The "Why are you running?"
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, yeah, that's a great one. Have you ever seen the one of it was on YouTube a while ago? This dude pranks his dad about getting a girl pregnant.
I think I have. There's so many cool things. I can't quite remember the which country he's from in Africa, but this guy, he was making these YouTube videos, like very like just learning for himself, bringing his community together, and then he got kind of funding and everything to get more equipment and better cameras and everything. This guy is like building a whole kind of movie scene in Africa. It's been many years since I've seen it, but it's just been so cool of like seeing people come together to create these unique and amazing stories, and, you know, coming here to like Canada, you know, continuing to build those stories and create a place for them to thrive. Like, the movie scene here in Manitoba is growing. You know, real film festival or real Pride Film Festival is happening soon. You have the Gimli International Film Festival. What are some other ones? Fascination Film Festival. There's a ton of different film festivals. So yeah, providing opportunities for Black and African creators, whatever medium it is, I think it's so cool.
Yeah. Like even in terms of the music, in Africa itself, you have like there are all these amazing artists from West Africa, but there's also amazing artists from South Africa, Central Africa, East Africa. You know, like in South Africa we have Sakodi. You know, we have Joey B. In West Africa you have amazing artists from Nigeria, from Ghana. You know, and like even internationally too. You know, like artists in UK who are like dual citizens, artists from Canada who are dual citizens. You know, like Dax performed last night in Winnipeg. He's Nigerian Canadian.
Very cool. It's growing, and I think it's just better for Canada and Manitoba as a whole as we develop these spaces and grow these spaces to embrace different cultures and voices. Because for myself, like every time I get a moment to just dip my toes in another culture to learn a little bit more about it, I think is just a growth experience for myself. Learning more about different cultures and people. And the stories they have to tell, whether that is music or film.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just thankful, like I said, to just be able to play my part. It took a few people coming together to make this, to make the Afro Fest a reality. From the St. Norbert Arts Center to the Black Artists of Winnipeg, to Unreal Creative. Which is an amazing platform, actually, one of our partners that we work very closely with, Manitoba Music as well, so all these different entities coming together to make this happen. So I'm definitely very thankful for people being able to see that vision and being open to wanting to celebrate the community, celebrate the culture, because we have a very growing community, especially in south of Winnipeg. Like Bridgewater, Richmond West, for Gary, there's a huge African community.
As creators coming together, what is that sort of process? What sort of insight do you think that brings in terms of, developing other music and helping support other artists versus someone who maybe doesn't have that musician or creative background?
I think for us, the reason it's kind of different in our approach and even in our execution is as creatives, we always think of it from a artist point of view, from a creative point of view, So it's like there have been a lot of shows and a lot of events I went to, and you could see it in the management and the administrative aspect of it, where it's just like the planning wasn't done the best it could, and like there's only so much planning we could do. Like there's this Yiddish saying I like a lot. It says, we plan and God laughs. You know what I mean? Because there's only so many factors that we can control, right? There are a lot of factors that's uncontrollable, and so with that said, like it's just always keeping in mind that at an event, or just as an artist, you want to have a good experience, So you want to make sure the artist has a good experience. You want to make sure the crowd has a good experience. You want to make sure everyone has a good experience. It's always about the experience, whether you have 2 people in the crowd or 1,000. And because the thing is, if you create a good experience for those 2 people, they're then going to tell 2 more people, who are then going to tell 2 more people, and your next show is going to be bigger than the last one, right? But if that lack of experience is there, then there is no incentive for people to come to your show.
For developing an event like Afro Fall, of course there's going to be challenges and obstacles you have to overcome. What are some of the challenges of, creating an event like this? And, this is the 2nd year now, and in our conversations before, you're talking about you wanting to make this an annual event. What are some of the challenges you've had to overcome for this year, maybe the previous year? And, what are some of the steps looking for to continue to grow this event? Maybe from the perspective of yourselves in terms of organization, and from the perspective of the Winnipeg community, whether that is the South or all of Winnipeg, that can continue to help develop events like this and continue to elevate Black and African music, culture, foods, and everything at festivals like this.
First
I know that's a little bit of a broad and complicated question.
I'll try my best. Well, first and foremost, the biggest obstacle, honestly, is just the weather. You know, like even right now, it's forecasted to rain on
Classic
Sunday.
Manitoba, right?
Right. But it's like it's forecasted to rain today, for example. You know, and I don't think we're gonna see rain, right? So it's I guess that is the
It's
biggest
a knock on wood sort of situation.
you know, as loud as you can, yeah. But other than that, the other aspect is honestly just in terms of advertising and promoting and marketing. I think this year, because there was a lot of focus on like the Jerry Fest and the Food Festival and all these different things, we didn't spend as much time, or like we didn't start
Some of the
promoting.
things fell through the cracks a little bit.
As early as we should. But like regardless of that, I don't think that's necessarily an issue, because it is the first festival, so like there's only as much awareness as you could create. But I think just like moving forward, it would be especially now that we have the first one, we could have like footage and content to post throughout the year and next year. So like it's something that's constantly on people's mind. I think having platforms like this one, you know, radio stations, talk shows where we could talk and promote and create that community, right? So like everyone knows and everyone is in touch with what's going on within that community. I think that also helps for sure, you know, and I'm thankful for you having me.
Hey, no worries. We're
Pleasure.
always excited to learn about different events, different people's different voices, that sort of thing. And yeah, as you're mentioning, it's all about building that momentum, right? Like, hey, you'll have content and stuff like that you can kind of spread throughout the year, getting people to know, it's like, hey, what is this thing? What's going on? That seems really cool. Maybe if they didn't see it this year, maybe next year they'll be like, hey, let's check this out. Let's add it on to our calendar for next year.
Precisely, exactly. That's the plan, you know. Whether we have like 300, 500, or 1,000 people show up this year, the plan is to multiply that next year, regardless, right? So yeah, we just have to make sure that I guess we play our part. We make sure we create a good experience, make sure we create a good vibe, a good environment for everyone to have a good time.
Amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me a little bit about Afro Falls. Just to kind of wrap up, how about you just give a quick synopsis about the event and when it's taking place and whether or not people need to grab tickets?
Okay, awesome. All right, so the event is Sunday the 24th. It's starting at 3 p.m. and it's going to 10 p.m. So from 3 p.m. to about 5 p.m., you can expect for there to be arts and crafts. You could expect lots of food trucks, food vendors, local booth, stuff like face painting, beads making, hennas, and then you could also, so at like 6 p.m., that's when we start transitioning towards the live music, and you can expect performances from people like Izoman, Tommy Phil, Vital, General, Santa Clara, and so on. You know, there's a lot of local guys that if you live in Winnipeg, you definitely have heard of them. Yeah, you could just expect a good time. Tickets are on sale. So we have a few tiers of the tickets. So general admission is at $20. For kids under 12 years old, it is free. Kids 13 to 17, it's $10. And we have VIP tickets for $100 and $80. So they're different tiers, yeah.
Have any stories you'd like us to share or communities we should highlight? Leave a comment on our social media or reach out to us on our website. I'm Ryan Funk. This was You Talk, and have yourself a good one.